Hello. Last week I started an 8-week weight reduction experiment, and today I'm checking in. It's my 1-week check-in, and also, as promised, today we will be talking about what to eat while you're losing weight. First, how are we doing so far? Well, last week I weighed 220. This week I weigh 210. Don't get too excited about that. Mathematically, it's only possible for me to have lost about 3 or 4 pounds of fat. The rest is probably either water weight or just the fact that as a result of eating less, I'm carrying less food in my gut. But so far, we're looking good. Going down to 210. The goal was to lose 20 in a month. All right, so today we're talking about what is it that I eat when I'm on one of these diets. So whenever you're trying to lose weight, you want to drop the number of calories, but you really don't want to drop the number of nutrients or it can mess things up. And over the past few years, I've spent a lot of time looking at different diets, and I've noticed there's some things that most major schools of thought have in common. One of them is you try to keep your blood sugar levels low. You don't want spikes in your blood sugar. Another thing is you want to eat a lot of plants. You want to eat a lot of colors. When you're not getting much food, you want to make sure you're getting the right food. So over the past year or two, there's some different things I've been looking at. So let me pull those up here. And bear with me, I'm only going to spend just a minute or so on screen. What you're looking at it's called the methylation cycle, and it's really horribly complicated. And if you can get your head around that, call me, because I'm still very much a novice when it comes to understanding this. But here's the high levels. It happens at a subcellular level, and you have a bunch of interrelated, interdependent processes that happen. For example, this wheel turning impacts this wheel, they're all interrelated. And so if this one gets slowed down, it slows down everything else. Think of it as a factory with several independent processes where one feeds into the other, because that's really what's going on. Up at the top, you have the inputs: thionine, PHF, tyrosine, tryptophan, arginine, and so on. Coming out of this process, you have serotonin, dopamine, homocysteine, just various things that this cycle produces. Now, let's look at serotonin and dopamine for a minute. Those are related to anxiety, depression, etc. I found that if I don't eat right, I turn pretty cranky. Serotonin and dopamine are an area of focus for me. I want to make sure that when I go on a diet, I don't turn really crabby. One last thing, these ovals that are colored, those represent the proteins that make the process happen. Protein is a big, long sequence, and the recipe to your proteins is found on your DNA. The website that I'm at, the Yasko methylation pathway, is on the website of Dr. Amy Yasko. Science has yet to determine if she is a quack or if she's legit, but nonetheless, the service she offers is she'll run tests and find out what your levels of all these different chemicals are and identify which cycles have slowed things down, etc. And then she'll prescribe you a dump truck full of pills. The reason for her pill approach is she works largely with autistic kids. With autistic kids, pills may be the best you can do. You may not be able to persuade them to eat a balanced, healthy diet. But I don't like pills. And so I was looking for an alternative where I could make sure everything was running here, but without the pills. So, stumbled across Dr. Wahls. At one point, she was the U.S. Taekwondo champion, and then not long after that, she had multiple sclerosis. She went to some of the best treatment facilities, and they just really couldn't do much for her. It's an intreatable disease. She refused to accept that as an answer, and so she came up with a diet that she followed really pretty strictly. Not too long after that, she was active again. She went from being wheelchair bound to standing, to walking, to mountain biking. She's back in action. And I'm not saying this is a cure for multiple sclerosis, but the protocol seems to be a very healthy one, and it's relatively easy to follow, and I've been following it for about the past year. So let me walk you through what it is real quickly, because this is what I follow both when I'm dropping weight or when I'm just going through life normally. In a minute, I'll show you individual meals and what a day in the life looks like. So, okay, and this website's kind of goofy in how it's formatted. So up here, it talks about first 3 cups or a plate full of green leaves, and then 3 cups of sulfur-rich vegetables. It talks about greens. It doesn't address the sulfur-rich vegetables down here, but you need about 3 cups of those. 3 cups of colored vegetables, and then high-quality protein. So let me walk you through it. So 3 cups of greens. This is, we got some spinach, we've got lettuce, we've got some jalapenos and cucumbers. You want to get 3 cups of this type of stuff in a day. 3 cups of sulfuric vegetables. We've got a couple heads of heads of cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, garlic. This is homemade sauerkraut. By the way, if you want to know how to make that, leave a comment down below and I'll address it. 3 cups of colored stuff, fruits and vegetables. This aligns nicely with Chinese medicine as well, where they tell you to eat lots of colors, etc. And then here's seafood, organ meats, and eggs is what I eat. I want to talk about this for just a minute, because if you ate this entire thing of spinach, it's probably less than 50 calories for eating the whole thing. Same with this head of lettuce. Cucumbers have 5 to 10 calories each. Jalapenos are like 5 calories each. You could eat everything on the screen here and you'd get what, like 20%? If you ate everything on the screen, you'd only get about 20% of the calories you need in a day. Same thing with the cabbage. The entire head of cabbage is only 300 calories. Nothing here has much in the way of calories. Over here, we've got a few calories in the carrots. The apple and banana probably have close to 100 calories each, but nothing here really has much in the way of calories. And so the challenge that some people have in following this, we've eaten 3, 6, 9 cups of produce. That's a lot. You've eaten like 9 cups of produce and you've maybe taken in 100 or 200 calories, and you've got 1,800 to go. The challenge comes in, how do you get the rest of your calories? So this is where I deviate from the Wahls protocol. The Wahls protocol says no dairy products or eggs, grains, legumes, tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers, or sugar. Where I deviate from that is I actually do eat eggs, and I'll do cheese as well. Eggs are just really good for you, and cheese is a good way of getting in calories, trying to get up to your 2,000 calories a day when you're just holding normal. So in essence, I follow a modified version of the Wahls protocol. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? So what I do is each morning I prep a few bowls, and I take them with me to work. I eat one every 3 hours. So I'm eating at 6:30 in the morning, 9:30, 12:30, 3:30, 6:30, 9:30. Sometimes I'll combine the last 2 meals of the day, just because you're with family and you'll eat twice as much. But there's not much in these bowls in the way of calories. This is the next day. Take a look. I try to get at least one source of protein into each bowl. Here's another day. Here's dinner. Now, to be fair, I could have had a lot more asparagus, and I think I did have more asparagus. And then when I tried to put the picture together, there wasn't much left. And this is some salmon. So salmon, carrots, and a bunch of asparagus. And then here's the next day, and you can see the salmon making its way into my next day's set of meals. Some sweet potatoes here, celery, Really nothing there has very much in the way of calories. So I'm probably eating 800 to 1,000 calories a day. And then just because it's a thing I've been doing for a while, I did a 4-day fast. I stopped eating Wednesday night and didn't resume eating until Sunday. That's just something I've been doing for about 2 years now. It's going once a month. I'll go 4 days without eating. So that's what I eat. These are the quantities. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm an engineer, but this is things as I'm able to understand them. Next week, we'll discuss how to avoid losing muscle tissue when you're on a very calorie-restricted diet. So if If you want to be notified when that comes out, choose subscribe, hit the little bell, and you'll be notified when the video comes out. That's all I have. Again, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them. See you next week.